starting lineups. We begin with the Spurs. DeJounte Murray back after the torn ACL cost him, and Trey Lyles. The Timberwolves will counter with Culver, Wiggins, Graham, Covington
as well.
23 assists for him over the last 4 games. And Jim, going into the game in Memphis, there was some Twitter beef going on around him about Andrew and
mixing it up and not showing any kind of tendency ATO.
DeMar DeRozan for Trey Lyles. Shot clock down to 5. LaMarcus Aldridge able to get it to roll in.
Seems like he likes to mix it up against Karl Anthony Towns and Gorgui Dieng.
Andrew Wiggins gets the Timberwolves on the board. Puts such high arc on that shot, it is really tough to defend. Towns trying to back his way in on Aldridge. And Towns with the hook.
Lineup virtually every night. DeJounte Murray did miss 1 game, but Trey Lyles has started every game for them. To watch Minnesota against Detroit, going 8 of 10 from outside the arc, and the way they made them. Andrew Wiggins assisting as DeMar DeRozan gets right to the...
Culver works his way to the rack and able to lay it.
He's a great player in his own right. I said he kind of reminds me of Yushan. He's not quite as big. Sean is over 6'8", so he's not as big as Sean. Nice.
Torrey Messina decided to go back to the EuroLeague and take a head coaching job, so Popovich had a void to fill. Wiggins able to connect on a 3, filling it up from down.
Minnesota's come out with great energy here again. It's one thing we've seen from the Wolves, right, Dave, is great starts, and Andrew Wiggins has been a huge...
Offense within the system just adds to that and adds the value to that, guys.
Yeah, there's no doubt it has been a huge boon for this team, and it's what the Timberwolves, sometimes
he can be short, he can be...
Yeah, sometimes he's not interested in being there. He's got other things he wants to tend to.
Wow, nice cut by DeMar.
4 meetings with San Antonio last year. Aldridge off the inbound. Vonleh, shot clock down to 5. Vonleh not convinced he might not
foul. He just settles for a lot of turnaround jump shots.
Andrew Wiggins still being aggressive.
You know, there's so many different wrinkles you can run out of that play set. The team they do, and Rudy Gay at home.
Rudy Gay averaging nearly 11 per game. Hard to believe he's in year 3 in San Antonio now. Has really revitalized his career.
After tearing his ACL, as Jake Lamb. The second unit is so much more willing to let it fly from outside the arc than the starters are.
Patty Mills uses the
staple of what the San Antonio Spurs do. And there you see Patty Mills. So it's not like it's a small sample size. This guy has been a great pro.
Rudy Gay finds Pirtle cutting underneath.
They come off the bench and give him a shot. They pass the basketball so quickly. Andrew, not a surprise that they got San Antonio back in this game.
Mills unable to get the roll, but Pirtle somehow it's the second chance bucket tonight for San Antonio. Covington looking for a 3, and he drills it.
Spurs winning the rebounding battle here early on. 6 offensive rebounds already. They've converted those into 4 points.
Limited to 55 games last year with injury issues of his own. To have him back healthy.
Spurs are winning the points in the paint battle as well.
Andrew Wiggins.
And the best rebounding point guard the Spurs have ever had.
Wiggins, oh, what a feed! Number 2 in the NBA, Jim, for rebounds out of the point guard position so far this season. So there is some statistical data to back up what Sean Elliott is
7.7 a game.
Spurs back within 1 after the Bellinelli jumper. And Jeff Teague will
That's why San Antonio has been so good defensively over the years, is Pop does not let those kinds of things go by.
See Becky Hammond there next to Greg Popovich on the Spurs bench.
Bryn Forbes has been pretty good from outside the arc as well as Teague. Gets that one to roll in. Bryn Forbes, the Michigan State product, he's shooting 37.8% from the 3-point line. He's the one starter that's willing to really let it fly.
Stripped away. Timberwolves will try and get it up the floor in a hurry. Culver and the rookie with the finish.
Excellent.
Aldridge, man, it is
Aldridge. It's the closest thing to Robert Parrish.
Basketball.
Minnesota still with 0 second chance points, which is something they do pretty well. 6th in the NBA, average over 14.9.
Spurt that is mostly involved transpiring since Andrew Wiggins did go to the bench. Karl Anthony Towns to 3.
He's 0 for 3. And those hoops that he missed out on, thought he got fouled on a couple of them. Wow, what a spin move by DeMar DeRozan. Because now all of a sudden San Antonio gets a spot and a stop, and they go at Minnesota.
Culver, no. Towns, yes.
Finally.
You mentioned, Jim, the surprise that the Timberwolves haven't been able to get some second chance in defending second chance scoring. They're 5th in the league. They only Timberwolves trying to close the gap on the glass. Well, Kogi with that rebound as Aldridge hits it. 21-19 on the glass right now. Every Timberwolves player has at least 1 rebound that is played tonight. Towns has another triple. The 33s are the most through 10 games in Timberwolves franchise history for an individual, and Jim, Towns only played in 8 of the 10 games. Wiggins and Andrew adding to the down. Timberwolves well on pace to get over 100 points in this game tonight as DeRozan drops in. This year was the first season ever under Greg Popovich that the Spurs allowed opponents to average over 100 points per game for the season. Towns drills it. And this season, 3-game homestand, we're 3-0 to start the year. But they've lost their last 2 at home. Mills get it to drop. Rudy Gay to LaMarcus stops to close out this quarter. Wiggins attacking, and Wiggins finishing.
They're going to go. Interesting.
Forbes, and he'll get a whistle.
I didn't think it was that significant, but anytime you lay your hands on them with the right-left hook shot, man, he was killing them. I don't think his shot chart, everything would be inside the restricted area.
Forbes hit on 2 of his last 9 shots after a 6 for 7 start.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's 8 of 16. Forbes is not going to
over the years. In fact, the last 20,
like 45 days or something.
No, it's 65. 65 days they've been under 500 in the last 22 years. As DeRozan quarter combined between the 2 teams. Timberwolves have 4. San Antonio's already in the bonus now, the rest of them. Murray dumping it down for DeRozan. Extra pass to Aldridge.
It's like a layup for him. Some of these guys, those mid-range shots are like layups.
Culver, and that's a good way to end a 10-0 drought.
6-month rehab for a lot of guys.
Nice anticipation there by Towns to break that up. Wiggins attacking, and Andrew finishing. 1 rebound separating the 2. San Antonio leading in that category. Culver.
Nice.
Let me hear your baby talk voice. He was fully invested in the interview. I thought Ryan was just fantastic.
So good, and so good was the execution. Ties 7 lead changes here tonight. Arnie Gellner along with Dave Benz and Jim Peterson with you for this Timberwolves Spurs NBA.
A corner 3. He sort of edits it and makes do and gets right to the rim. LaMarcus Aldridge knocks down.
With the basketball, he's got Forbes to beat. Then he's stripped right back by White. DeRozan faked like he was going to pull it out.
Did the old Michael Jordan move, except Michael Jordan dunked it on Patrick Ewing after he did it.
Jeff Teague. Some players, they like to do that, dip their hands in some warm wax to get the blood circulating before the game.
The NBA ball is very slippery too. It's just, you almost need like some moisture on your hands. As Teague's Twitter was Johnny on the spot with the derivation of that saying. It's kind of boring, so I'm not even going to get into it, but nice job getting matched up in transition by Minnesota.
It's the only the 11th three-point try by San Antonio tonight. They're 3 for 11.
Over to reacquire Derek White as he drove the seam.
Oh, Teague, that was going to be there. And Jake Layman instead will hit the...
Gerson Rosas to be able to get Jake Layman and Shabazz Napier.
Although Shabazz tonight missing his 5th straight game with the hamstring issue. And Teague attacking and finishing.
So we talked about San Antonio's bench and their effectiveness.
Teague, no. Layman, yes.
What did you say? And Layman has been a very efficient 4 of 5 from the floor.
DeRozan able to guide it in after the loss to Memphis on Monday, which was his best game of the season so far. Wiggins out of the corner. 3 to the game. Vonleh and the Wolves for the first
in the game right now. Minnesota's bench ability to operate.
Rudy Gay. Gay able to get it to go. By the way, Jim, I know Secaucus, New Jersey, and said that they are continuing to examine and discuss ways that they can make the coaches' challenge more effective.
What else happened in the email? Keep on explaining it. There was some good information in there.
They're working inside to Pirtle and
Bingo.
And Jason Ford, official for the NBA, and now he has left the court to go work in the league offices. Wiggins underneath to Jake Layman. And Wiggins pulls up for 3. Andrew downtown. He is locked. Wiggins feels like he's got a mismatch with Forbes. Patty Mills comes over to try and help out. Wolves nearly turned it over. And then Wiggins all alone underneath. Excuse me, Travion Graham gets free underneath. Hitting Aldridge in the face with the off arm.
Rebounding his position better, like because he has done it. Getting to the free throw line more often as Teague makes Andrew and David Vanderpool work out before the game is completely different than what he was allowed to get away with in years past. He'd be shooting long twos.
Right, and you would think, this is a simple fix, but those things have been eliminated, and the results are certainly. I don't think this one's going to be quite as one-sided, but the Wolves are looking like they've got 5 of 8 shooting. He's got 10 points. Towns has 24 points and 11 rebounds. Covington hasn't done much. Covington nearly got the turnover for Minnesota. Instead, Aldridge
has to focus in. This is too good of a team.
Yeah, you can't consider the game 1 against San Antonio, and Towns has now. Greg Pop. Gordy Jang. Lonnie Walker, the 4th, goes into a hard hand with San Antonio having a losing record. And it will only mark the 66th day in 22 years that they've been under 500. It's unbelievable.
Now it's going to be 66 tomorrow until they don't play
technically tonight.
Do they play tomorrow?
Still a couple hours left. No, tomorrow. So by the time they go play in Orlando, it'll be 67.
67 days.
As we approach the final minute, Timberwolves will improve to 7-4. Tapped back up and in by Metu.
The San Antonio Spurs. No team has ever done that in the pop. Rain. The San Antonio Spurs. How about that?
That's good knowledge. And they've doubled their 40-point quarter output for the year, by the way. Now with 4 on. Timberwolves were loaded on the plane by a little after 11. We didn't take off till almost 3:30 in the morning. Jarrett Culver with one last highlight to add to the reel for this one. With an impressive 129-114 win, powered by the dynamic duo of Andrew Wiggins, who had 30, and Karl Anthony Towns, who had 28.